And these are 3 poems which I have actually read before, but a long time ago, and I just thought I'd reread them this time. This one's called Welcome to My Display. An apartment block, the entrance to a cinema, garish lights saying, welcome to my display. An old whore in frantic possession, approached by the furtive and the lost. The streets decked out in gold and purple velvet. A cabaret tonight, she calls the punters in. Shifting displays blossom in the river, a cannabis dream which possesses me from the outside in. I pause. In the rain, lamplights gleam and traffic becomes rotting fruit, sprawled out and running on the road, windscreen wipers whir, shop shutters are pulled across and slotted in place. A waft of spices bless the air from the Indian cafe. I swig my half-empty bottle of Red Control, which was buried deep with a leftover cigar, and the woman eyes me with an insect glare. We exchange lifestyles with looks to kill, unsympathetic stares. I take in her trollop's dress, shiny and red like open wounds. Her legs bony as a skeleton's, with long plastic boots to match. Her plumber's lips engage in a smile as she tightens the screw. I feel for my wallet and enter, so as not to upset the whore, handing over notes I can ill afford. They have feelings, don't they? I fancy something weird and strange to satisfy my jaded tastes. My notebook at the ready, I plan to leave enriched. I'll sail away on a bateau mouche as silvery dawn embraces the sky, feeling like a smooth operator on a grand spree, dreaming wild. This one is called Boots, and it was based on when we used to be in Ambit quite a lot. We had quite a lot to do with Ambit magazine. The editor, Martin Bax, wanted to do a portrait with his then arts director. So he did. So I just wrote a poem about it called Boots. It's called. Because what I did, I put my legs up on a stool and I had these long boots crisscrossed, hoping he'd do them. And anyway, I crisscrossed the laces in my boots, ready for the artist's attention. I wanted him to concentrate on them and the image they created, away from my face, to keep his eyes dancing and his body at the ready, to plunge into an unknown place, beneath an alien belly stud in a savannah of thighs. Could be in a shoe shop, where he imagined he fancied someone, temporarily, but not too seriously. Look at me in my laced-up boots. I put my leg on a cushion, fully aware of his stare, as he sketched with trepidation, like a drowning man pulled out of the sea by a siren in long black boots, too afraid of her to unlace them, one at a time, and pull them off, slowly, and unable to look at her face, in case she was no longer beautiful, or the boots were really artificial limbs, like the heroine in Crash, who turned on to blood and pain. Next one. There's just one more, which I don't think I've read this one before, actually. It's called Statues Bite the Dust. There's so many statues have been pulled down recently for various reasons. Most of them good reasons. I think some of them, yeah. So statues bite the dust. So many statues have fallen from the sky. King George V sadly topped in Nehru Park, stacked headless behind a banyan tree, ignominiously dumped from on high, after the subcontinent was sacked by the Raj, tea drinkers to a man. Whereas Gandhi leads the people in black stone, freeing them from tyranny in the same park. Such elegance and beauty in that heroic man, Gandhi Ji. Ancient icons line the corridors in Topkapi Museum, Istanbul, never to be replaced. But we favour our leaders this way, Some winners, some losers, tyrants galore, but rulers are more frequently tyrants. They say that money and power invade the brain like a shot of cocaine. Living in palaces is sublime until the reckoning. The Blue Mosque, once Christian, now a stronghold for Muslims, is now more a place of prayer than simply a tourist attraction. Slave owners who worked their slaves to death or took them for sex more and more. Their bracelets were not silver or gold, but instruments of torture, manacled to the wall. They finally felt justice torn down and smashed to bits. Where's their power gone now? Floating down the Thames, black power came into its own at last. Will human beings again be bought and sold? Of course, as the minimum wage hits bottom and the homeless beg for crumbs of mercy from the top dogs, citizens from the subcontinent are the new slaves. I remember visiting Wat Tyler on his plinth in his Basildon Park. Yes, the Wat Tyler Park, it was called. So many British workers were led to revolution by this one brave peasant leading an army with pitchforks and spades to overturn London. The monsters on the run. He was displaced by a Tory PM. There'll be no celebration of ungrateful wretches here on our soil. Pull him down. And so it happened that the next time I went to visit him, he was stuck in some back room, somewhere, screaming for justice, like a misplaced prisoner set in time's aspic. Hindu deities are worked up in shops by stonemasons, then sold to rich caste members. I'll buy the lot if it brings me greater prosperity. If not, I'll settle for Lakshmi or Ganesh. Steer me clear of Kali, she makes my flesh creep. I prefer to ride on Durga's tiger anytime. As for Hanuman, the leader of the monkey flange, settled on my friend's back at a temple near Madras. His eyes had inadvertently eyed the females in the pack. Now they wanted blood in recompense. Kiss me quick hats never came into it. I could wander through the Jardin de Luxembourg on a fine summer's day and see those French queens hidden in the shrubbery. And why? If they wanted to be seen, why were they in hiding? As Chopin is played on a Sunday morning, a friend puts his arms around me and asks, "Have you never been with another man?" I laugh in his face and think of those guilty queens, and I listen to nocturnes played exquisitely by a Romanian pianist. The sun is high. Maybe one day I'll be on a plinth headless like Saint Denis, bewailing my fate. Yet God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. That's it then.
There's a democratization to AI. And I'm with Benjamin Franklin, the oldest man in the revolution. Had it not been for that, 1776, I think you Americans learned from the French how to live. I remember the Battle of Concord, as is remembered in Concord, down by the lake that Henry Thoreau talks about. He didn't want to pay tax. He built a log cabin by a lake. I'm with him. And I remember Tom Paine book that Napoleon Bonaparte, before he became emperor, really favored. And he wanted to see Tom Paine in his palatial palace. I think it was at the, where is that place now? In Paris? I mean, Napoleon, as soon as he got in power, he ransacked Italy for paintings and put them in the Louvre, which was a royal palace. And then he got, I remember Robespierre was the last one to lose his head in the Great Terror. And it was all done in those days in the Concord, Place de Concord, near the Tuileries. Now, apart from the death of Marie Antoinette, who was an Austrian princess, she was taken all the way here from Paris, screaming in a carriage, and she was, you know, because she didn't get on with the Dauphin or something.
Gonna read the poem.
Okay, democratization of AI. Okay, I'm going to lighten up. But I remember Thomas Jefferson as well. Now, didn't he have sex with a bonded slave?
Yes, he
Her
did.
name was it Emily Hemmings? Anyone can enlighten me on the name?
Sally Hemings.
Pardon?
Yeah, Michael knows.
Michael.
Sally Hemings.
Sally Hemings.
Yes.
Sally Hemings. Yeah. And Jefferson, he often came to Paris.
Can you read some poems?
Yeah, well, I was talking about the democratization of AI.
Oh, there isn't a lot of time.
There's a democratization of AI, and I believe in democratization. I'm just trying to make a point about AI. And I mean, the airways are open to everybody, not just the elite. I mean, really, my
Come on.
ancestors were
Come on, read the
bonded
poem.
slaves
Read the
working in the cotton fields of Southern
Read the
Carolina.
poem, please.
Yeah. Okay, if it hadn't been the fact that we were pirates on the Atlantic coast of Ireland. You know, also on the
Come on,
flight.
Robert.
Oh yeah, don't worry, don't worry. It's called The Lonely Planet. It's a little bit, I'm lightening up, okay? Outside time, recorded in sigils and tellurian runes. Half-lives evolved into humankind, spinning within the eye of a weaving ant. Half-lives evolved into equatorial entomologists. Volkswagen buses morphology from Humboldt's travels, exhumed from the megalithic tombs time window. The warriors will remember Thermopylae, returned home to the mountains of Mexico, Ziggurat to Ararat, measured radiation in chrysolite. Herod's shining day star, solar synergy in Lake Tiberias, traveling in accord with Herschel and Hubble, listening to the music of the spheres from Alpha Lyra, outside time recorded in sigils and tellurian runes. Half-lives evolved into humankind and Athenians, journeying to the mountains overlooking the Acropolis, those moonlight astrologers in the eye of a tornado, returning to the megalithic tombs of Mexico, traveling back to the Indus Valley, a triangulation, circumnavigating the globe from a tour guide, a well-thumbed copy of The Lonely Planet. Thank you very much. They are great books. I recommend them. Good Australian books. And don't they know a thing or two?